And the call is free, so don't delay.
Call 1-800-737-5145. That's 1-800-737-5145.
These days, news seems to come from all directions, and it can be overwhelming. Simplify your intake by watching news from where you live. WJFW NBC News Watch 12. We deliver critical local and national news, sports highlights, and weather updates. Watch us daily on Channel 12. Visit us at WJFW.com or like us on Facebook. We are NBC News Watch 12. Weather Watch 12. Weather from where you live.
Today, it's all about dogs. Small breeds. Coming up, we'll introduce you to a small but mighty dog that's pawed its way into the hearts of 3 American presidents. We're talking the iconic Scotty.
He looks like he's always dressed up. He looks like he's always in a tuxedo and ready to go out for the night.
Then,
I love you guys so much.
It's one of the oldest living canine breeds that you can't help but love, all thanks to that adorable mug. It's the pug.
They play all the time. And apparently it's time for a play session right now.
Plus, if the thought of a doggy gives you the sniffles and sneezies, then the dog for you might be the Maltesies. The ancient dog of Malta, that is.
Another great reason to have a small dog. Look how easy it is to run errands. Right, Brady?
And it's bonjour to this breed. Meet Monsieur Chien, Frenchie, a.k.a. the French Bulldog.
They're like little lovable clowns. I mean, they're hilarious.
All that and more starting right here, right now on About Dogs, Small Breeds. There are plenty of popular breeds, but few can be considered an American icon. Yes, we said icon. What else can you call a dog who's won over the White House 3 times? The Scottish Terrier is the pup people love to love.
I particularly like this breed more because he looks like he's always dressed up. He looks like he's always in a tuxedo and ready to go out for the night.
Allison Barksdale is mother to Chulo, a 7-year-old AKC certified and proud representative for all things great about Scotties.
This is Chulo. He's a Scottish Terrier, but I also call him the Scottish terrorist because he likes to take over. Even though they're small in stature, his voice is very, very vocal. I kind of feel like when he's barking, he's talking to you. And he looks you right in the eye. They're good watchdogs. And like if somebody's outside and you hear him barking, they think it's a big dog. And you open the door and it's like, oh, it's this little thing.
Scotties made their way from Scotland to the U.S. in the late 1800s. These fierce little hunters were bred to run down foxes, but they've managed to leave their paw prints all over American history. The Scotty has enjoyed the title of first dog 3 times already. That's more than any other breed. Most recently, there was Barney and Miss Beasley, family dogs of President George W. Bush. President Eisenhower was a Scotty lover, too. Here's Ike when he was still a 5-star general, joined by Talek for official duty. But the most famous Scotty of all has to be Fella. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's Scotty was so popular, it's reported he received more fan mail than some presidents. Fella was so beloved, he's still by FDR's side. Fella and the president are honored together forever at the Presidential Memorial in Washington, D.C. Scotty popularity boomed during the mid-20th century. The Scotty is the mascot for Carnegie Mellon University, the mascot for Scotty RV Trailers, plus that one little Scotty we've all played with.
And also, there's a Monopoly piece after the Scotty. The little dog that you see when you're playing Monopoly is a Scotty.
Scottish Terriers do well in small living spaces, but they still need daily walking, or better yet, running. A perfect place for that, a local dog park.
They love to run and play. So going to dog park, he has a ball. He's not afraid of the big dogs. He loves bothering the big dogs and chasing the big dogs and running with them.
Compared to most breeds, Scotties enjoy relatively few breed-specific health issues. But life with them does call for some special attention because you can't roll out of the doggy bed in the morning and look this good.
Every month he goes and he gets a Scotty cut. And I think that's when they go to school for grooming, everybody knows how to do a Scotty cut. So we go at least once a month, and he likes going. You see them when they're getting bathed. He loves it. You can see it in his face. It's like he's at the spa.
The Scotty is well behaved when called upon, whether on the road, out and about, or even on camera.
He's a bit of a TV star.
This is We the People with Gloria Allred.
He was on a court show.
Chulo is the dog's name.
Yes, Chulo's the dog. But you're pretty good.
I'm just happy Chulo's much better now.
Yes, Chulo made it through his high-stakes court appearance with his tail wagging.
You ready? Let's go. I would recommend this breed to anybody, whether you have a family, whether you're single, whether you're old, you have children. It's a really loyal breed and fun to be around. Today of all days, the ducks aren't here. They're very, very loyal. And if you want to put him in your lap like I'm doing now, he's fine with that. If you want to let him run around and check everything out, he's great. Time to leave the canals, even though this was fun. It's like my kid. I know everybody says that and it's kind of cliche, but he's my son. Time to go home.
These are my two babies that made me fall in love with pugs.
All dogs were born to be adored, but small dogs especially.
That was fun, wasn't it, Kiva?
It's understood that dogs evolved from the gray wolf thousands of years ago. Big dogs came first. Small dogs evolved later on. And while some were bred to be lap dogs, others were meant to be status symbols. One dog was bred to do both. The pug.
So cute. Pugs have been described long, long ago as multum in parvo, which means a lot in a small size.
The small size includes some major history. In fact, they're one of the oldest breeds of dog. Their greatest skill?
No, let's go. Come on.
Being a constant companion.
They're not really the kind of dog that you get if you want to go play fetch. You know, if you throw something for them, they might get it once in a while, but other times they just look at you and say, like, why don't you go get it?
When it comes to her puppy of choice, Isabella St. James is absolutely, positively a pug person.
So this is Balbina and Bogart. These are the first pugs I got.
Today, she's a spokesperson for Pug Nation Los Angeles and the pug breed in general.
So right now, I have 6 pugs. I have 3 of my own, and I'm fostering 3 dogs on behalf of Pug Nation Rescue. Hi, I'm Lucy. I was rescued. I heard about a pug rescue, which I never imagined existed. And I immediately went to the rescue. They had an adoption fair, and I said, give me the least adoptable dog you have, someone that no one will get.
If you want to know what life with a pug is like, well, consider Isabella the authority.
Before someone brings a pug into their home, they have to be aware of that they are the ultimate companion dog. They want to be on your lap. They want to be next to you. They will follow you to the toilet. They will follow you absolutely everywhere. And they play all the time. And apparently it's time for a play session right now. They're really mellow, loving, easygoing companion dog. Lucy and Bogart definitely have an eye for the ducks. Where are the duckies? Let's get the duckies. I know they're thinking of a little duck chase, but, you know, I don't let them do that.
The pug's most famous feature? That mug.
With bulging eyes like that, eye injuries are pretty common, especially since pugs are so curious.
Just know that it's not easy being this beautiful.
Show them the tongue, Lucy. Show them the tongue, Liz. They're very prone to ear infections, so you do have to clean their ears out regularly. They have the little folds here under their eye, over their nose. That has to be cleaned out. Other than that, you know, they do shed a lot. However, once you fall in love with them, you almost don't notice, and you sort of wear that fur like a badge of honor all over your clothes. I think the best match for a pug is someone who just really wants a companion animal. They're wonderful with kids. They love to play. They love kids. They're wonderful with other dogs. Look at the pigeon. What's that? Goosey? You do have to be patient, but it's definitely worth the risk, the reward. I really don't think you can go wrong with a pug.
Coming up up on About Dogs Small Breeds. We're introducing you to Monsieur Frenchie, Le Chien, or Dog, who's fast becoming one of the most popular small breeds, thanks to the movies and its celebrity following.
They're like little lovable clowns. I mean, they're hilarious.
But next, its long, white, smooth, silky coat makes this ancient dog of Malta one of the most coveted breeds around. Yet it's the perfect pet for allergy sufferers because it's, get this, hypoallergenic.
I love you, baby.
More of your favorites on About Dogs Small Breeds right after this. Closed captioning provided by...
It's just not right. Nah, I need to try something new.
Doritos. Try another angle.
You've evolved. You've changed. So have we. That's why new Dove Body Wash now has 24-hour renewing micro moisture for continuous care. New Dove Body Wash. Change is beautiful.
Here's a small breed's dog fact. One of the biggest factors in considering a small breed as a pet is life expectancy. Small dogs can live twice as long as large dogs, sometimes up to 20 years. Your new cuddly companion could be in your life for the next 2 decades. Talk about a BFF for life.
This is Antonelli's Cheese Shop, and we're the Antonellis.
We chose our Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One because we earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase.
And with no preset spending limit, our purchasing power adapts to our business needs. What's in your wallet?
I love puppies.
Well, I love that I switched to Verizon. My other network used to drive me crazy.
Yeah. And with Welcome Unlimited for just $25, I love that I got an awesome network and save money doing it.
I know, $25. But what I love is that it's guaranteed for 3 years.
Yeah. Well, what I love is I got to keep my phone more savings.
But I love...
Hey! We're sitting on a sign here!
Switch and get Welcome Unlimited for just $25 a line. Guaranteed for 3 years. The savings that last on the network you want. Verizon.
I know what I love about my daughter. But if you ask her... At YoPlay, we believe in strengthening women. So we're partnering with Girls Inc. to help girls build self-confidence. Share your strengths at YoPlay USA.
Paw prints happen. Stains don't have to. iClean, stain-resistant fabric for everyday life. iClean by La-Z-Boy. Learn more at lazyboy.com.
Looking to break into the world of broadcast television? WJFW is now hiring for various positions. Go to WJFW.com to apply. Don't miss this opportunity.
All your local news is just a swipe away with the new and improved Newswatch 12 mobile app. Download the app on all your devices for local news, school closings, full video newscasts, and more. Newswatch 12. News from where you live.
Paw prints happen. Stains don't have to. iClean, stain-resistant fabric for everyday life. iClean by La-Z-Boy. Learn more at lazyboy.com.
Welcome back to About Dogs Small Breeds. Our next tail-wagging story centers on a pooch known worldwide for a perky personality and gorgeous good looks. Not to mention, this breed is toteable.
This is how she rolls.
Trainable.
Six.
Lovable.
I love you, baby.
And way too adorable. It's the Maltese, of course. The Maltese is one of the oldest known dog breeds in history, with an ancient past that goes back 8,000 years. The first Maltese is said to have originated in southern Europe.
The Maltese come from a Mediterranean area called Malta. That's the name Maltese.
This ancient breed has been known by a variety of names throughout the centuries, from ancient dog of Malta to the Maltese lion dog. The most famous Maltese of all happens to be one of the richest dogs ever, thanks to infamous hotelier Leona Helmsley, who left her pet Maltese named Trouble a $12 million inheritance. Other historic admirers of this beloved breed include Aristotle and Queen Elizabeth I, to name a few.
Meet Maltese owners Kelly and Melly, along with their 1-year-old furry daughter named Brady.
This is a girl dog, and we did name her Brady because I am a sports fan and love the Patriots.
It's because of her love for Tom Brady. I love my Brady with all my heart, whatever her name is, and she's just my baby. I love you.
You're going to love the Maltese, too, especially if you have allergies, because the Maltese has a long, straight, silky white coat. They have little to no shedding, and like their relatives, the Poodle and Bichon Frise, they're considered to be hypoallergenic.
We actually like to keep her groomed at least once a week, just because she's living inside. We want to keep the house clean. And most of my friends that have Maltese go about once a month.
And she has tear stains.
So when we take her to the groomer, we have them cut right around her eyes. Therefore, the tear stains don't show up very much.
This little lap dog loves to be loved, and they're cuddle bugs, too.
I love having her being so small, because every night she always sleep with me, and we always cuddle.
Another great reason to have a small dog, look how easy it is to run errands. Right, Brady?
And though Brady may look little, at nearly 4 pounds, she's already considered full-grown.
She's about almost 3.5, and I think she's maxed out. And this is a backwards cough, a backwards sneeze.
So don't be alarmed if your Maltese lets off a honking or snorting sound. Reverse sneezing is synonymous with this breed. If you want a happy and healthy Maltese, then you'll want to take your dog on daily walks. And it's always nice if the backdrop is this beautiful.
We live on what's called a walk street here in Manhattan Beach, which is perfect. No cars can come down it, so it's safe, pretty much safe for dogs. It's scenic, and it's very nice. There's always a nice ocean breeze. So it's enjoyable to get out and walk her. This little Brady's become part of our family, and we love her like it was our own little baby, actual child.
Our little sister. And she's so important because she's part of our family now.
I would definitely recommend her for any type of family.
What do you think about that?
Next, on About Dogs Small Breeds. It's called Bulldog Français, or French Bulldog. But you can just call it Frenchie. We're going to tell you all the reasons why this lovable companion dog is fast becoming one of America's favorite pet pooches.
They seem to have this soul quality.
All that and more when About Dogs Small Breeds continues after this. Closed captioning provided by...
Had enough? Arthritis. Here. Aspercream arthritis. Full prescription strength. Reduces inflammation.
Kick pain in the Aspercream.
Now, here are some great reasons why you might want to adopt a precious little pooch. Small breed dogs are long-time companions. Some can even live up to 20 years. They're also swell for small dwellings, since apartments or condos often have breed or size restrictions. Plus, they're travel-friendly. They're easy to transport on a trip or take on outings or errands, and they're low maintenance. You may not need to walk a small breed as much as a large one. Not to mention, they eat less, take less space, and they're way more manageable to groom. You're watching About Dogs Small Breeds here on Pets.tv.
The first ever Up North Community Expo will be held Thursday, March 2nd from 10 to 5 at the Hodag Dome in Rhinelander. Over 70 exhibitors from 7 counties will help you discover businesses, nonprofits, meet employers, and grow your network with free admission.
Right now is absolutely the best time of year to buy furniture, and Slumberland Furniture is the best place during our huge President's Sale. Come see our special offers throughout the store. Plus, special financing is available for convenient monthly payments. And did you know Slumberland offers custom fabrics and colors at no extra charge? Check out this gorgeous sectional, and it comes with a free ottoman. Plus, so much more during our huge President's Sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Looking to break into the world of broadcast television? WJFW is now hiring for various positions. Go to WJFW.com to apply. Don't miss this opportunity.
Does your home have a crawl space? When cold weather arrives, that can mean cold floors, frozen pipes, and higher energy bills. Protect your family and keep the cold air out this winter with Crawl Space Encapsulation by SureDry. Encapsulation keeps your crawl space clean, protects pipes, and insulates your home so floors are warmer and energy bills are lower. An encapsulated crawl space means a nicer home. Call SureDry and schedule your free estimate today.
Ready, set, go!
Show! Boat Show! Boat Show! Boat Show!
Can't wait to get on the water? Then get to the biggest and best boat show this week, only at American Marine and Motorsports in Shawano. We're matching deposits up to $1,000, or we will beat any competing price by $500. Don't be left out in the cold all year. Get your new boat at the American Marine Boat Show this week, Thursday through Sunday, Shawano.
Boat Show! Boat Show! Boat Show! Boat Show!
The Northwoods provides plenty of beauty year-round, and the weather events that develop can produce some amazing photos. Submit yours online at WJFW's weather photo section on the website to share with the WJFW weather team.
The first ever Up North Community Expo will be held Thursday, March 2nd from 10 to 5 at the Hodag Dome in Rhinelander. Over 70 exhibitors from 7 counties will help you discover businesses, nonprofits, meet employers, and grow your network with free admission.
Welcome back to About Dogs, Small Breeds. The story behind our next small dog goes like this. Many moons ago, a group of dog lovers fell head over heels for a certain breed of dog. Then, they got to wishing a smaller, easier to live with version existed. We give you the French Bulldog. A clown in the cloak of a philosopher. That would be the French Bulldog. But more often, they simply go by Frenchie.
They're like little lovable clowns. I mean, they're hilarious. They play around, and we just get so much enjoyment watching them.
They're clowns. They're just total goofballs. They make me laugh probably 10 times a day. This is JoJo. She started all this.
This is the Modern Dog, an urban chic pet boutique in Venice, California, inspired by Guy Miracle's 2 French Bulldogs.
They're really good dogs. They're tough, but they're little. So, like, JoJo's 18 pounds and he's 24, 25. They're good in smaller spaces, too. But, you know, they definitely need their walks. They are just, like, they're my family. I couldn't imagine not having them. I love them to death.
Then there are Frenchie fans, Bob and Shauna Seaman. They've been in love with the breed for years. And for them, it was almost love at first sight.
The very first time I ever saw a French Bulldog, my response to Shauna was, you know, that's an ugly dog. I mean, that's actually how I thought of it. And I guess it's like anybody that you love or anything that you love. Something that maybe could be very unattractive to one person is just the most attractive thing in the world to another.
The French Bulldog is a descendant of this fella, the British Bulldog. Hard to believe, but Bulldogs were once prized for their aggression. But Britain banned animal fighting in the early 1800s, allowing the Bulldog to win people over with their laid-back personality instead. A smaller group of Bulldog fans were infatuated with the smaller breed, or toy Bulldogs. In time, these pint-sized Bulldogs made their way over to France, where they were an instant hit. So they earned the name, what else? The French Bulldog.
They have a mushy face, a bigger head, they have the short legs. They're like dwarfed bulldogs. Kind of a no-tail.
I love their size. I love their temperament. I love the way their skin is kind of wrinkly. They seem to have this soul quality, you know? It's like you look into their eyes and like they're thinking something different.
They're probably thinking, who can I play with next? Frenchies have long been loved for their playful but easygoing disposition. These two, Lulu and Louie, so won over their owners, they inspired a company. Rockin' Doggy is Shauna and Bob's line of premium quality dog jewelry and accessories. And Lulu and Louie carried the title of unofficial company mascots.
We absolutely love our dogs.
We just think our dogs are just, you know, they're just wonderful. They not only become part of our family, but like as Shauna said, they're almost like our furry children.
Affair with Frenchies has been going on for over a century. The American Kennel Club first recognized the French Bulldog in 1898, kicking off a Frenchie frenzy that lasted through World War I. In the 1980s, the passion for these playful pups was reignited once more by American Frenchie fans. Fans like Bob and Shauna and Guy.
I think people are discovering what a cool breed they are. We love our Frenchies, and other people might love their Chihuahuas or their Golden Retrievers, and that's really what makes the world go round.
Vive la Frenchie! Closed captioning provided by
Sigue brillando. Lace. Stay golden.
What's up, Einstein?
My network has gone kaput.
You tried to save a buck on it.
Not so smart.
Well, there is a smarter way to save.
Oh.
Switch to Verizon.
That's right. For a limited time, get Verizon Unlimited for just $25 a line, guaranteed for 3 years.
Brilliant!
Only on Verizon.
Here are more reasons to get a small breed dog. If you're not already convinced, small breeds are like puppies. Small dogs get bigger, but they always stay small. So you can always keep that feeling of having a little puppy. They make great watchdogs. They can actually be trained to bark at just the right moment. Plus, small breeds don't have high exercise requirements. They're good for people who are lazy. Oh, no offense. And for people who don't have enough time to go out for hours with their dog. What do you think? Is a small breed for you?
Let's go.
It seems like only yesterday you were just a child at play. Life is brief, but when it's gone, love goes on and on.
A promise is a trust not to be broken. Whether spoken with an oath
Do solemnly swear.
It's your first day. You know I got your back, right?
or sealed with a pinky. In 1922, a group of soldiers launched USAA with a promise to take care of their own. And after 100 years, we're still taking care of the military community and their families. That's our mission. Always.
When moderate to severe ulcerative colitis keeps flaring, put it in check with Rinvoq, a once-daily pill.
When UC got unpredictable, I got rapid symptom relief with Rinvoq and left bathroom emergency behind. Check.
When UC got in my way, I got lasting steroid-free remission with Rinvoq. Check.
And when my gastro saw damage,
Rinvoq helped visibly repair the colon lining. Check. Rapid symptom relief, lasting steroid-free remission, and a chance to visibly repair the colon lining. Check, check, and check.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Put UC in check and keep it there with Rinvoq.
Ask your gastro about Rinvoq and learn how AbbVie could help you save.
So sweet, so crispy. Nobody makes breakfast as good as Wendy's new home-style French toast sticks.
Nobody.
Nope.
Keep talking. I can't hear you.
I should probably stop.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's home-style French toast sticks.
You're watching About Dogs, Small Breeds.
It's just not right. Nah, I need to try something new.
Doritos, try another angle.
You've evolved. You've changed. So have we. That's why new Dove Body Wash now has 24-hour renewing micro moisture for continuous care. New Dove Body Wash. Change is beautiful.
This is Antonelli's Cheese Shop, and we're the Antonellis.
We chose our Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One because we earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase.
And with no preset spending limit, our purchasing power adapts to our business needs. What's in your wallet?
What's up, Einstein?
My network has gone kaput.
Oh, you tried to save a buck on it?
Not so smart.
There is a smarter way to save.
Now is the last chance to switch and get the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus watch and tablet on us. Don't wait. Visit Verizon today.
We hope you enjoyed watching About Dogs, Small Breeds. And join us next time as we bring you more of your favorite cuddly companions. Au revoir.
This has been a production of EntertainmentStudios.com.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
Buffy's Northwoods Kitchen with Buffy Jackson, a cooking show from where you live. Buffy's Northwoods Kitchen every other Wednesday live on Up North at 4. Brought to you by Bassett Jewelers and Engraving Minocqua and Eagle River Cabinets, Rhinelander and Eagle River.
Lance Truck, we got the trucks at Lance Truck. Nobody has more used trucks all on one lot, all priced to move. So when you're ready to buy your next truck, know that all Lenz trucks are fully inspected, certified clean, and can be bought hassle-free online. Go now to lenztruck.com. You'll find over 800 used trucks, all priced to move. We got the trucks at Lenz Truck.
You're watching NBC 12, your home for dramas, game shows, comedies, and sports. NBC 12, from where you live. You're watching Newswatch 12, news from where you live.
Welcome to Time for Hope, a faith-based mental health program. Join our host, certified clinical mental health counselor and Christian psychotherapist, Dr. Frida Cruz, and her guests as they discuss real-life issues and offer expert clinical advice and solid biblical application for any and all life situations. Now, here's the host of Time for Hope, Dr. Frida Cruz.
Welcome to another edition of Time for Hope. I'm Dr. Frida Cruz, your host, and today for the second and concluding week, I would like to welcome as my guest, author and pastor, Dr. Rob Green. Rob has written a book titled Tying the Knot, which we've already been discussing, subtitled A Premarital Guide to a Strong and Lasting Marriage. In his book, Rob gives us a practical, biblical, and Jesus-centered premarital book to use with couples preparing for marriage. If marriage is really designed to put the love of Jesus and his bride, the church, on display, then it stands to reason that we should be talking about Jesus from the very beginning with couples who are preparing for marriage. Stay with us as Rob and I discuss the critical areas that need to be covered in premarital counseling in a way that keeps coming back to Jesus at the center of it all. And Rob, here we are again for the second week, because there was just so much in your book. I didn't feel good about just leaving some of it hanging, but it still leaves a lot. Even when we finish this second week, it's going to leave a lot. And I do encourage my viewers to get their own copy for the rest of what you have written, or sometimes I call it the rest of the story. And I do encourage you to make sure that you get a copy of Rob's book, because we're just, as I say often, and you hear it, we're just touching the tip of the iceberg as to what Rob has to offer those that are engaged or are thinking about it or planning to get married, or you're already married and running into problems. There's some of all of it in his book, and I think he's done a great job. And then, so let's pick up with love. Man, we hear more about love these days. And we're talking sexual love, we're talking marital love, we're talking all kinds of, adulterous love, we could call it, I guess, and free love, and we could go on and on. But when I think of the word love, and it is so prominent in the scriptures when you really delve into the scriptures. We, especially New Testament, we're to love one another in our churches. So it's got to have different meanings for different things, but at the same time, 1 Corinthians 13 covers it all, doesn't it?
It sure does.
You and so you've named in your book, you've named the things that stand out in 1 Corinthians 13, and I've directed many couples to get down and study together 1 Corinthians 13. You want to add to that?
Yeah, you know, I love that passage. We actually had that read at our own wedding 22 and a half years ago. And one of the reasons that I discuss the text is because I want couples to actually read it, to think about it. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love doesn't keep record of wrongs. Love believes all things, hopes all things. Like, really? And one of the things that I hope is true for couples as they read through that particular section is they say, I can't do that on my own. There is no way I can do that. And that's right. They can't
either.
That's right. Exactly. And that brings them to the place of dependence where it says, oh, Lord, I am not able to love like this. I am not able to express kindness in the face of suffering. I am not able to express patience in the face of hardship. And Lord, I need your help to do that. And so in those moments where there's a little bit of tension in the marriage, that's where 1 Corinthians 13 speaks, as well as in the times where everything is wonderful. And so I want to help them see that, boy, they are dependent on the Lord. And so if they come back and say, you know what, this is exactly the kind of love we have for each other. I mean, we're doing this perfectly. Then I know they actually have a problem because they're not, and they don't see it. What I'm looking for is the couple who comes in having read and thought about 1 Corinthians 13 and says, oh God, I need your help to do that because I can't do this on my own.
That's in any area of our life, isn't it? That surrender, that admitting we can't do it, that we need as I wrote in a devotional this morning, we need the Almighty God on our side, and they're ready to help us with any situation that arises. But when we think about all that 1 Corinthians 13, it does not allow, and I want to get this out, it does not allow for spousal abuse. It does not allow, we get all kinds of prayer requests coming in. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we'll hear from a spouse that says their mate has been unfaithful for years. Mm-hmm. See, I can't encourage them to continue allowing that kind of behavior and being kind and understanding and so on and so forth. So we're not talking about, when we talk about the patience and the kindness and we go down this line, God is not in this particular chapter, because he would never allow or encourage one of us to allow another human being to abuse us.
You know, part of loving sometimes is confronting. And part of loving is sometimes getting the appropriate people involved in order to properly handle that situation. And so, yeah, the viewers that are just sitting there and not addressing it and just taking it and viewing that as love, that's really not all that biblical love has to offer. And so they do have a responsibility to fulfill 1 Corinthians 13, but what it looks like is a little different. It's calling their person, their spouse, their friend to repentance.
And then we move on to Christ's love and that Christ-centered marriage you're writing about. And we look at the life of Christ and how he interacted with people while he was on earth. And you have giving, serving, and self-sacrifice. He was always giving, wasn't he?
He was. And, you know, a lot of people talk about the love tank. And they often think about it from this perspective. Well, when I love, then I'm making investments in somebody else. But I like to be reminded that Christ has loved us with infinite love. And so in that sense, my love tank is always full. It's full of the love of Christ. And therefore, that frees me up to love and to give and to serve. And that's really what you find in the person of Jesus Christ. Because of his security and his love relationship with the Father, he was then free to love those around him rather than demand things from them.
Yes, and it finally resulted in his giving himself, the self-sacrifice, which on some level must happen in every marriage. There, on some level, we're going to offer ourselves to keep harmony, to keep abuse out, if it can be kept out, to avoid divorce, all of those kinds of things. It will require sometimes the sacrifice of our desires and the sacrifice of what we would like to be receiving from our spouse until we can seek the don't you recommend seeking professional help at that time, as you've laid out in your book?
Oh, there's certainly times when couples need to get some help, and I encourage them to do so earlier rather than later. Don't allow 30 years of bitterness to build up before you seek help. Seek it as soon as possible. But, you know, that self-sacrifice comes out in a lot of ways. One of my friends just got married, and 3 weeks after their wedding, they discovered that his wife has MS. And so they didn't know that. Mm-hmm. That wasn't something that they had knowledge of prior to their wedding. And so now he has the privilege, the joy, the opportunity of serving her in some very special ways. And that is, he can do that because he has the love of Christ that fills his own heart. And so he's free then to love her and to serve her, even though life doesn't exactly look like he may have thought it was going to look just 3 weeks prior.
Yes. You know, do you, like I, observe couples out in public where this is going on? One's in a wheelchair, the other one is looking after them. I just lost a cousin early in death. She was rather young for dying, and I didn't know her that well because I live quite a distance from where she passed away and had lived for years. She's back where I came from, and I'm up here in South Carolina. But I understand her husband just was there because she was sick a long time, but he was there every moment, all the time, and taking care of her and going through all of that with her. You don't hear very often, you don't hear that kind of thing, but we can. I do observe it out in public sometimes and know it has to be going on that way. And I was so happy to hear that she had that kind of marriage and that kind of love coming from her husband. And that's what Christ intended, wasn't it?
It was.
And they were Christians, by the way, so they probably had found the secret of what you're talking about in a Christ-centered marriage. And they're telling me it's time for a break again, and we will be right back. In a place called Perfect, all our dreams come true. People never disappoint us. We have everything we want, the way we want it, and when we want it. And, of course, we have perfect marriages. It just so happens that there is no such place. In fact, the opposite is true. We live in a world filled with unrealized dreams. People are forever disappointing us. Few people have everything their hearts desire, and for sure, there are no perfect marriages. My son and I were out enjoying lunch together recently, and ahead of us in line was a couple that graphically illustrated the points that I just made. The husband was in a wheelchair being pushed by his wife. He was only able to point out the food he wanted from the buffet, having to depend on her to reach and get it for him. I turned to my son and said, "This is a true picture of for better or for worse." None of us who take those vows can possibly know what they will hold, but we can rest assured that all marital relationships will contain disappointments and losses which will test the limits of our love and commitment for each other. Many today are too quick to throw in the towel when they come to believe they aren't getting what they thought they bargained for. Research by sociologist Linda Waite has found that the great majority of unhappy spouses who persevere in their nonviolent marriages for 5 years report marked improvements in their marriages. We are not saying their marriages become perfect, because two imperfect people can never produce a perfect marriage. What it does reveal is that two people committed to making a marriage better get to enjoy a better marriage. And the same research revealed that divorce, on the average, does not prove to be the panacea many people believe it will. Instead, it was found that people in troubled marriages are not usually any better off divorced. So, my challenge to you is to focus on turning your present marriage into the marriage of your dreams by asking the Creator God to give you the wisdom and courage to get honest with yourself and your mate about the needs of your marriage. This could include a professional Christian counselor. I always appreciate you staying with us through our breaks, and we are continuing, and we'll conclude with Dr. Rob Green. His book titled Tying the Knot is subtitled A Premarital Guide to a Strong and Lasting Marriage. And I think we've already given out from with Rob some great ideas about couples that are planning for marriage, or if you're having problems in your marriage. I think we've put out some good information. We still have some good information to come. At the same time, I would encourage you to make sure for the rest of the story that Rob has written that you would get a copy of his book. And Rob, let's go to problems. I've got a commentary I do, and I presented it at churches also, and it's titled, There Are No Perfect Marriages, okay? And you know, at the First Baptist Church of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, years ago, I presented that in a service, and at the end of the service, an evangelist that was there that I knew, and maybe even the pastor, came forward, and they had to thank me that I had taken a great load off their shoulders, that they didn't have to try to tell people they could be perfect, there could be perfect marriages anymore. It gave them great relief. And there is no such thing as a perfect marriage, because it would have to be made up of two perfect people. Right?
That's for sure. And
none of us are. That's why we need Christ, isn't it?
It is. You know, the way I often talk about that with my people that I'm working with is, what happens when you don't live in the first chapter, that is, Jesus is the center of your life, and what happens when you don't love like Christ loves? Well, you have problems. That's what happens. You have problems. And then there are times when problems come externally to you. There was nothing that you could do to prepare for it. There was nothing that you could do to anticipate it. It came. And so what do you do in those moments? And I look for, before people are going to get married, I want them to be able to demonstrate that they know how to solve a problem from the Bible. And so often people are not very good at that. And one of the reasons is the Bible calls us to, first of all, consider our own issues. Matthew 7, verses 3 through 5 remind us you can't pay attention to the speck in someone else's eye until you pay attention to the log that's in your own. And yet that is so hard for people to want to do. They don't want to do that. They want to talk about the specks. And so that is really a section that's dedicated to helping them understand how you solve a problem.
Mm-hmm. And we'll talk a little bit about communication later on in one of the, that's the big C, by the way. We call it the big C. One of the things in communication that a couple wants to attain is the ability to say, I'm kind of laying this on you, what I need from you, but at the same time, willing to admit where I have fallen short and asking you to forgive me. Yeah, you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I think you have to begin with your own repentance. If you only repent for the purpose of having the other person repent, then your attitude is not really about getting the log out of your eye as much as it is getting the speck out of someone else's. And so I'm really looking for a willingness on both persons' part to just simply accept responsibility. And so what do you do when only one person does? So let's say that my wife and I had a little problem that needed to be resolved, and I said, okay, I'm willing to take responsibility for my part. And so I go and I ask her for forgiveness, and I'm thinking she's going to do the same here any second now, right? And she doesn't. Now what? And that's where I entrust myself to the Lord. That's where I entrust the relationship, our marriage, that God is going to work also behind the scenes.
And you go to prayer asking Him to open her heart and eyes to her own problems in the issue rather than you trying to point them all out, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And if I start doing that, then I'm in a position to really honor the Lord myself in my own life and be in a position to make it easy for that person to then to admit they're wrong too.
And then, as we look at a couple preparing for marriage, they can be different views. Don't you think most couples preparing for marriage, they know other people have problems, but they're not going to have any problems in their marriage? That's one of the perspectives, isn't it?
It is.
And then the other, in looking at problems, is ignore them. That, you know, they'll take care, they'll solve themselves, in other words, if you ignore them, which that won't happen, will it?
That's right. That's one of the lies.
And then you've got the other perspective they can have is don't worry about them until they are too big. Or big enough to worry about, I guess we could say. We would suggest early attendance to, but not intense early attendance to a problem, right?
Yeah, I like to think about it this way. Problems are like bunnies. You can either have 2 today or 1,000 tomorrow. So deal with the 2 that you've got today.
I like that. I like that. Let's move on. The principles that you have of problem solving, we just talked about it. Take responsibility for your part. Repent of your part. Forgive one another. Forgiveness is so hard to come to, isn't it? It's hard to forgive when someone has hurt you. I mean, I'm admitting that. If they hurt you, it's hard to forgive them. But we can't, the scriptures are so clear. Until we're willing to forgive, don't ask God for forgiveness, because we've got to be willing to forgive if we want Him to forgive us.
Yeah, and really the forgiveness that God gives to us is what motivates us to forgive others. If we keep forgiveness in the horizontal plane, it will always be a challenge. But when I think about how much God has forgiven me, then I'm in a position to forgive others.
And always after a session or after talking about something, be ready to leave it in the past and move on, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how Paul lived his life, huh?
Yeah.
Even though he was a persecutor of the church, he says, I count all of it as a loss for the sake of gaining Christ in Philippians 3.
Let's look at biblical husbands. You got 3 L's about them, okay? They're to be lovers. The lover are lovers. They're to be learners. And they're to be leaders. And then the wife is to be a follower. Here's that subject, submission. But you know what I learned after a good many years in my own marriage about submission? Because in earlier times it was taught so strongly that a poor woman actually in a marriage hardly had a chance, okay? That was the circles that I came from early on in my husband's ministry and in our marriage, until I learned the Greek there, and talking about submission has to do with voluntary subjection. And the only way we can voluntarily subject is this relationship with Jesus Christ.
That's right, and to believe that the way that God designed marriage is best. And so often, we talk about the women and submission, but I'm actually much firmer with the men. Because so often men have not done a very good job of leading and loving and learning. And so as a result, they've made it hard for their wife to enjoy the institution of actually submission. In other words, it was designed for her protection and for her care.
We're going to have to leave the rest for them to get your book and hear the rest. They're telling me we're coming very close to the end, and I said I want you to end with the one piece, and I want you to look straight at the camera, the one piece of advice you would give out of all that we've touched on and the rest that's in your book.
My one piece of advice is to make Christ the center of your life, to seek to glorify Him in everything you do and in every area of your life.
And again, Rob, it's great having you on Time for Hope, and may the Lord take you safely home to your wife and family and continue His blessings on your ministry.
Thank you for having me.
And then I have something to share from one of our viewers. Dear Dr. Frieda, please pray for myself, which we just talked about, and my fiancé. We have not seen each other in 11 weeks. Please pray that our relationship would be restored if he is the man that God has for me. I think she's done a wonderful job here of putting it out in a way that she probably is praying about a marriage with this person. And because if they've been separated for 11 weeks, we know something is wrong. And but she still would like the relationship restored. And then, but she still wants to know for sure that this is the man that God has for her to be a partner for, as it were, the rest of her life, or that she could have a good, strong marriage with. So we certainly have taken that request, as I always say, as we do all others, to the Lord, and have turned it over to Him to help this person. And then I have a note of encouragement. Dear Dr. Frieda, I just love the Time for Hope program. The discussions you have with your guests, and so often my guests are mentioned, and they are a major part of this ministry, and we're very thankful. God has raised up so many that are willing to come and be a guest on Time for Hope. You have with your guests are great. Please keep up the good work, and as long as the Lord gives me the grace and the strength to do it, I intend to do that. Now, added to that, if God has not urged you to help us financially, I'm asking you to take it up with Him in prayer, and if you could become a financial partner with us, I would greatly appreciate that. And then finally, I say, make sure, as people tell me as I go about here locally, regularly, I watch every show. I watch you all the time. I'm encouraging you to join us again next week on Time for Hope.
Thank you for watching Time for Hope, a ministry of Hope for Living Media Church and Bible Study Time Incorporated. We offer a free fact sheet with more information on today's topic. Call or write us to get your copy today. The resource we are offering this week is available for a donation of at least $5 to the Time for Hope ministry. Any additional donation you wish to send will be greatly appreciated. Call us at 800-669-9133. Write us at Post Office Box 2169, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29304. Or visit our website at timeforhope.org. As we continue to give out messages of hope, a financial gift of any amount to support the Time for Hope ministry will be greatly appreciated. When you send us a gift, you are joining in the ministry to which God has called us, and we greatly appreciate your teaming up with us in extending God's kingdom. Until next time, have a great week, and remember, it is time for hope.
Paw prints happen. Stains don't have to. iClean, stain-resistant fabric for everyday life. iClean by La-Z-Boy. Learn more at lazyboy.com.
The unknown is not empty. It's a storm that crashes and consumes, replacing thought with worry. But one thing can calm uncertainty. An answer. Uncovered through exploration, teamwork, and innovation. An answer that leads to even more answers. Mayo Clinic. You know where to go.
For the most up-to-the-minute info on your school closings, visit WJ.